So you would forgive her and still divorce her? I forgive you. God
Yeah,
bless you.
because because I'm a firm believer that I have to understand what happened. I understand what caused this woman to stray. If I want to go and have another relationship, because if I get into another relationship with a woman, these things can repeat. So there need to be some type of forgiveness and understanding. So whenever I get into the next relationship, I'll know not to treat a woman like this to where she'll stray away. You get what I'm saying? But as far as retention after that, that's gonna be tough because from my understanding, women cheat differently than men. When women go in and allow another man to come into them, I think you should forgive if you had any participation in the cause of it. It could have been you walking your woman into the flames and walking away like um so to speak. Let me see if I can think of an example. So like if I'm married, I'm in a relationship with a woman and I'm not giving her any time. You know what I'm saying? I changed suddenly. I'm not giving her the time that I was giving her or that I gave her the intention that was going to be there. And the love and affection started decreasing. I recognize and I'm not going to do anything about it. Sometimes it affects loyalty. If you don't communicate these things, you know what I'm saying, it can cause issues in your relationship. It cause your woman to stray away. You got to be able to. You can't just think that. I mean, I know that a lot of guys think they get in a relationship and they got a woman that's submissive that she's just gonna bend no matter what. You still got to do the necessary things to fulfill that woman's. I think they call it 5 love languages or some shit. You got to recognize these things in a woman so that she can stay loyal and secure. You know what I'm saying? You got to hold her down just like you wanted her to hold you down. And women do that too. Vice versa. Women not getting the man sex. A lot of women they get in a relationship they want to withhold sex because they may be mad or they got an attitude. Yeah, but then this guy is in a relationship with you and committed with you, and you want him to be monogamous, knowing his nature. So you're gonna go ahead and do that, and then now he's got a side chick. So I feel
So
like a woman. I feel like a woman who recognizes that should forgive him. Like, hey, look, I pretty much sent this dude out to the wolves. You know what I'm saying?
that I agree with that. I was going to say we didn't talk about that aspect, but that is the context. If you step out because of a situation like that, I don't think you're wrong. I think again, which is so I got some controversial takes. I'm not doing vows either. If I were to get,
I did want to give Fatima a chance to answer because I don't think she had a chance. No, but go ahead.
Yeah, and I have to leave after this. So, what I would say is, from an Islamic perspective, like if you're married, divorce is, like kind of the last option. It's not like no option. It is an option, but it's just, try everything before you get divorced. What I would say is it depends, right? I agree with Precise that, you have to, forgiveness is a big thing. Well, two factors that you want to consider is one, the severity of the cheating, right? Was it physical? Was it not? Things like that. So the second is, as a human, the cheater, how no, as a spouse, how were they, right? Were they abusive? Were they toxic? Were they, just not a good person? Were they not uplifting you? Were they not making you a better person? And then they cheated on top of that. That's your sign. Like it's got to, end.
Oh, it quits.
But then if they were always like, there as a 50-50 partner, they were always uplifting you, positive, and, supportive, then, that's grounds for, trying to, rework things. And, so yeah, it's not like just end
So
all.
it's like they were a good person, but they had a slip up. They made a
They had a
mistake,
slip up.
or they're just a total asshole and they cheated too.
That's your sign to be like, bye.
When you work out, when you're like, no, I'm chalking the deuce on you.
Okay, so I'm hearing another part of it. So y'all said work things out. So when y'all say forgiveness, do y'all mean like and work it out after the cheating? Because from my understanding, yeah, I can forgive a woman for cheating, but working it out after that is a whole nother conversation.
So you would forgive her and still divorce her? I forgive you. God
Yeah,
bless you.
because because I'm a firm believer that I have to understand what happened. I understand what caused this woman to stray. If I want to go and have another relationship, because if I get into another relationship with a woman, these things can repeat. So there need to be some type of forgiveness and understanding. So whenever I get into the next relationship, I'll know not to treat a woman like this to where she'll stray away. You get what I'm saying? But as far as retention after that, that's gonna be tough because from my understanding, women cheat differently than men. When women go in and allow another man to come into them, they taking a risk of allowing him to imprint her too. A woman can't imprint a man. You get what I'm saying?
She's not doing
She
it
can
right
take
now.
his imprint, but she can't imprint him. So that's the difference. So it's gonna be that situation is gonna be really, really I don't know, man.
You're right. I mean, women are different. They're a little more emotional. So if they're ever, going into a relationship with someone, even if it's just, physical or anything, they do have that emotional aspect a little bit more. But I mean, and I understand trust is a huge thing in a relationship. So I mean, when that's broken, it's really hard. But I feel like, if it's a one-time thing and, communication, therapy, a lot of things. I mean, I think it could be revived. I'm just saying all this hypothetical, but
The therapy would definitely need to happen.
right.
Because that would be.
Yeah, and I think both parties. So this whole term of cheating, we got to get it in
Fatima,
proper
I know you had to
context.
go, so I don't want to hold you.
Yeah.
I know you had.
Oh.
Bye. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
See you,
All right,
Fatima.
And I think the common denominator in people being upset about it is the deception, right? So men got to come up front straight up and just let the woman know. I've noticed a lot of the time where, like Bruiser said, or someone said it, the woman's not holding up her end of the bargain, right? Because as I said, women talk about the cheating experience. He cheated, they feel so shamed and everything. I've actually seen it to where someone I know told her mother, her aunt, her grandmother, and they cursed the dude's name until she was like, I know we didn't have sex in 3 months, but, and all of those women were like, excuse me, right? Like, what part of the game is that? You didn't, what did you expect? Right. So, if you're going to do it, and you got to let the woman know straight up. If you take that deception part of it out, then you'll realize that women can be territorial, but it's really that part that takes the choice away from them. Because you were going around, sneaking around, because you were being deceptive, now trust is lost. But I think to your core, women understands a man's nature. So if you make it known to her, like, hey, this is becoming really hard for me, hopefully she'll make the necessary changes so you don't have to step out.
So do you think a man should state in the beginning, if you do not have sex with me, I'm going to get sex somewhere?
100%, absolutely. That is, it was told to me by one of my older frat brothers when I was very young. And I don't know how we got on the topic, but he said, stop lying to women. And he's like, they will mess with you anyway. State your business clearly. This is what I like. This is what I want to do. I will be in a relationship with you. If we get married, my provision will belong to you. My children, only you will have. But this is the way it's going to go down. I promise you at least 50% of women will be like, okay. Because you told them up front.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as you take away the choice, that's when, you get this response we have in modern day.
I agree with that. I remember my father used to always say that men need sex like they need food. He said, so they eat 3 times a day. If you stop cooking, they still have to get food. Where are they going to go? For takeout. He said, same thing with sex. They have to have it. So if you deprive them, they got to eat sexually.
Like,
it's just the principle. It's just the principle. I think personally, right? I'm on that boat. I'm definitely on the boat of if I'm married and I'm not getting any sex, I'm definitely cheating. It won't be cheating because I'll tell that person, but I'm definitely going somewhere else for it. Especially considering my situation. I'm not gonna wait this long for you to tell me no. It's not happening. I'm sorry. Considering the fact that unfortunately, if I get married in the West, I'm not marrying a virgin. If I get married to another culture, they already seem to understand this idea that men have a sexual appetite that exceeds more than one woman. So it don't seem like they don't understand that. Their requirements of me will maybe even less. It's like there is no reason why I should be hearing no, because if what y'all were saying was true, right? This idea, oh man, it's so admirable. Look, I'm not trying to hear my stomach hurt when your stomach don't hurt. I'm not trying to hear I'm tired if you're not tired. I'm not trying to hear nothing. If that's what you're saying, and you're saying it's such a great deed, and you don't behave or act in that way, fine. Let me go find somebody who, I'm not a virgin no more. Now I can go attract some other women.
Yeah, but some women will weaponize sex and use it to like they'll withhold it so they can get what they want or because they're angry instead of being like this is you don't not cook when you're mad, like you still have to give your husband what he needs. I remember my godmother would say, I don't know why women always say no. She said it's something that doesn't take that much time and it makes them so happy.
Yeah, but that version of woman is gone. So what we really need, the elephant in the room, is that most modern women aren't meant to be wives, because it's not any like smoke to them. It's that they weren't taught properly how to prioritize a man's needs. How can you be married and just on a day-to-day basis consciously deprioritize your man's needs? That is an absolute recipe for failure. Every time somebody asks why the divorce rate is so high, because I say half the people that are married didn't know how to be.
Which is so sad because men are super simple. They really only need 5 things to be happy.
That's simple. Like, I don't see marriages that are, the happiest people in marriage, and they don't do this stat much. I think I've seen it like once, but married people that come from married homes, their divorce rate is low. Way lower than everyone else. But women that come from these cultures that, yes, I have to prioritize my man's needs. Look, and it has nothing to do with them working. That's the worst part about it. I feel like in Western culture, you substitute things or put things in a way where, like, I would do that if I didn't have to work 11 hours a day. No, the women who do this thing correctly, listen, I'm just telling you, my wife was like, I get home late now. So guess what? We're morning people now. My office is 5 minutes away. We're lunch break people now. You see what I'm saying? So it's like she found a way to be like, this is still what my man
get your
wants.
lunch and dessert.
Exactly. So it's like, listen, I'm gonna make this work because it's my job, it's my duty to please him in this way, or he's gonna step out, as he said. So if women learn to prioritize their man like that, the same way they do their job, same way they do their career, this divorce rate would be exponentially lower than it is now.